In my journey from being a teenage male to becoming a man via the process of young man, which I might still be in, I'm now 30, I learned that it's very important to manage your energy well. And managing your energy well doesn't just mean blocking your time in your calendar. It means the direct bodily, meditative, moment-to-moment experience of directing your attention and therefore your energy in a certain way. So what often happens is when we have a lot of energy as young men, we expend it everywhere and anywhere, right? Like chasing girls, going out drinking, playing sport, doing anything that's exciting. Life is all about excitement and adventure and going outwards and expressing, showing, demonstrating our prowess and our potential. And this is fantastic. Just understand that it's a very yang energy. It's upward and outward. It's like a tree grows up and out. However, without the corresponding deepening of yin, which gathers inward towards the center and down into the earth, you will eventually, or I eventually, found myself feeling like my tree was a bit unsteady. I had back pain, I had bodily injuries. I found that I felt emotionally up and down a lot, not really too good. My relationships were unsteady and kind of short a lot of the time, and I would be pursuing the next thing, hoping that that thing would be better because I just hadn't found the right thing yet. And that pattern applied to many areas: my relationships, my work, my training. It was an overall way of being. And as I got more depleted and more frustrated and more depressed because things weren't taking shape in the way I wanted to, I became harder on myself. Really, the truth is I didn't become harder on myself. I just became aware of how hard I'd been taught to be on myself. So part of maturation was becoming aware of certain patterns. Now, the next step is learning when you're expending your energy mindlessly or in a silly way, which isn't going to contribute to your true betterment and your fulfillment and your creative contribution. Learning when you're just pissing it away rather than being patient, grounded, and collecting it a little bit and being discerning about how you use that energy. So you'll notice if you're surfing, there's like a sweet spot, right? Where you go out and you're excited, you're like, yeah, let's surf, you catch some great waves. And then there's often a point where you hit this fatigue. If you then keep going, you're kind of cooked and you won't enjoy the session as much, but you'll just be like hanging on for that next wave. And then at the end, you're probably too exhausted to really do anything that's useful or creative. So you've exceeded that point of creative or fulfillment capacity, and you've gone beyond it because you were hoping for more. You were impatient. The same thing can be said when you're going out with friends. You go out and you have a really nice dinner, or there's a wedding or a party or a birthday, and you're like, yeah, sweet, but then you stay out longer than what you know is actually enjoyable because everyone else is. So you expend your energy and then you suffer the next day as the pendulum swings back. So every time you experience a high and the pendulum swings back, you will learn, okay, I've gone a little bit far here, so my body needs to rest now. But what happens is, as young men, we often don't allow ourselves to rest. We expect more of the same. We want to keep riding the high forever. And in doing so, we actually shorten our youth. We shorten our vitality and we trim the feathers off our potential because we're not allowing full recovery and recuperation. So this, as an older man, is something that I've learned through injuries and through relationships. I've learned that, when I'm with someone that I really love and who really energizes me, it's a time to fully appreciate and breathe that in, but also be centered in my own belly, my legs, my feet, be aware of the ground beneath me and the sky above me and where I am and who I am. Maintain this sense of self. When I'm out doing things, maintain the sense of self. When I'm training in the gym, I'm maintaining the sense of self. What is it that my body needs? How is my energy right now? And am I starting to overdo or am I underdoing? And the key is to visit both the rest and the expression, the yin and the yang, but not to base oneself in either of them and not to resist the natural swing of the pendulum. If you can do this, which you can when you bring your attention to it more and more over time, your energy will become more stable and you'll enjoy this rhythmic life which goes from relaxation to play, from creativity and work and outward expenditure towards gathering and internal resourcing and peace. It will feel like the seasons and days of your life take on the same rhythm of your breath. As you inhale, you inspire. As you retain and hold that breath, you soak it up, you feel what you have. As you express, you make it your own and you give it away. And then you remain empty for a while and you allow yourself to reflect on the whole thing before you go again. So everything in life has this cyclical seasonality. And as men, our cycle is solar, so it's from day to day that we have to check in with this and connect with this. The sooner you do this, the more powerful, peaceful, and purposeful you will become, simply because you're stable and rhythmic, and that creates the spontaneous creativity and the attractive magnetism which inspires others to join you in your way of doing things, so that you don't have to expend your energy in silly ways, soothe yourself from the suffering that you're trapped in, and follow others hoping that they know better than you. The movement is towards an inner compass, and over time we let go of the models that we've been shown once we've taken what we needed from those models and discerned what wasn't good for us. And over time we learn to become more in-sourced, to draw from our own supply and our own relationship with ourselves and with the world, and perhaps with a higher power. This is where your focus needs to be before you expect yourself to let go of the other things, the habits, porn, masturbation all the time, chasing sex, chasing girls, wasting your youth, drinking, getting fucked up, getting injured, getting sick, creating the foundations for those illnesses that are only going to reveal themselves later in life once your youthful vitality fades away. Shift your focus now. Don't be hard on yourself for the ways that you've been coping with what you weren't aware of. That's all good. We all do it from time to time, but we can grow beyond it. Shift your focus now. Move towards peace, purpose, and power by gathering your energy inward and downward towards the floor just as often as you've gone upward and outward. And if you've spent a lot of your life going upward and outward, then maybe you need to counteract that now, balance out the seasons, and allow yourself to have this still, wise internal winter.